Uh, okay. Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to this session to all of those who are attending live and to all of those who are going to watch it as a recording as well. I am Sanvi. I help people build confidence, the kind that doesn't come from pretending to be someone else, but slowly letting go of the anxiety of, of all the fears that you have and coming home to who you truly are. I really love helping people with this. And as a coach, I work with people in multiple capacities. I help them with their confidence one on one by one on one sessions and also by creating resources. I keep creating content, share it in my community, and I also keep creating such resources like this video. And I upload it on my YouTube. The links to all the videos will be mentioned in the description in this recording. So do have a look at those videos as well. Now, today's session is a special one. We are going to talk about something that affects all of us, our relationships. We're not going to talk about the other party in the relationship, but we're going to look at you, who you are, how you show up, how you hold back, and how that's often not about the relationship itself, but about the connection you have with yourself. Because you are the common denominator of every situation in your life, right? Whoever you are, whatever connection you have with yourself, it is eventually going to show up, right? Now, in this session, we are going to look at small everyday behavior patterns, the things that you say, the things that you don't, and the way you try to protect yourself, even when it's not needed. And what all of that says about who you are being, right? And what is it that you are bringing onto the table? How you're seeing yourself deep down. Okay. So let's start with, I would like you to take you back to a moment. Just reflect about, have you ever, liked someone? I'm sure a lot of us have gone through this feeling where we like someone and we have never said it to them. Maybe back then you were afraid. You were afraid of the rejection. You're afraid if they'll laugh, if they'll pull you away. So you just stayed quiet. You did not say anything to them. And yes, in doing so, you stayed safe. But what if, just what if it would have been the it start to something really beautiful? On the other hand, you would have seen others. Maybe they do not have the best of words, the best of the looks, the best of the lines, or nothing extraordinary, just a normal human being just like you. And yet somehow they go for it. They go and ask that person out. What do they have? Confidence. Yes, not the loud kind, not the arrogant kind, but that quiet trust that says, I will try, I will show up because what I deserve, I desire. Sorry, because I deserve what I desire. They show up for whatever they desire. They believe that they deserve that. They consider themselves worthy of it. Right? Now, I know that you might be thinking that it's not always that simple. And yes, it's not always that easy. But I'll tell you that it is actually simple when you understand what confidence really is. So let's start there. What actually confidence is? Confidence is not about having all the answers. It's not about knowing what is going to happen and controlling all of that, proving that you are right. It's not about that. It's also not about being loud, being fearless. It's simply trust. Trust in yourself. It's that inner sense of safety that no matter whatever happens, I will be there for myself. I may not know what's next. I may not know where is anything going to go, but I do know I can handle it. That's what inner trust looks like. That's what confidence looks like. Maybe I don't have all the answers. Maybe I don't know what is going to happen next. Maybe I don't know what situation will arise if I do this, but I definitely know that I can handle it because my intentions are pure. I'm ready to be with myself no matter what. That's what confidence looks like. You have created this sense of safety inside of you. You have built a place within that says, I have got me. I'm there with myself. Without that, no amount of love, praise, compliments, nothing will work on you. People can tell you you're amazing, you're fantastic, you're doing this, you're doing that. They will compliment you anything, but your mind will still whisper, am I? Or did I just got lucky? So today we will gently explore why that trust is missing for so many of us and how it shows up in our relationships, be it romantic, be it personal, or even professional relationships. And how do we start building that trust one layer at a time? You don't need to become someone else. You just need to come closer to who you are. Okay? We don't need a lot of fancy things. We just need to build that connection within ourselves. Okay, so let's begin. Uh, when your confidence is missing, there are generally two things happening. Either you shrink. So when I say shrink, this is what happens. You silence your needs. You feel like my needs are not the priority. Maybe my partner needs this, my family needs this. Okay, I will see. And then you just stay quiet. You don't say it out loud. You silence your needs. You make yourself so small inside. Okay, I'll see, I'll adjust. Maybe I don't, maybe who knows if I don't even need it. You just silence your needs. You please others to feel accepted. So you'll be like, oh, you're great. This is amazing. You did so much for me. I'll do this for you. Or you start pleasing them. You uh maybe you know that this they will not like this, but and when you know they will not like this, so you stop doing that thing. Maybe you don't go out just to feel accepted that my partner would not like me going out. And if I go, they will be furious. Okay, let me not go, and they'll be happy. So you keep making those small choices to please others. Start to believe that your emotions are only valid when someone else is happy. You overthink every move. You overthink, what if I do this? What would they think about me? What if I do that? And will they still like me? Oh no, I cannot apply for this thing. What if they think I have done something wrong? Or let's say your partner is quiet for a few hours or something. They're not speaking because they have something in their mind, maybe about work, or maybe they're just tired and wanting to stay quiet. So you start thinking, did I do anything wrong? Did I say anything? What happened yesterday? Did I upset them on this thing? Oh, I went for a coffee today. Did that upset him? Or or what knows? Like you start overthinking. You think every move and you keep thinking about if you have done something wrong. So you're very, your emotional levels are always like this, like this, like this. So slowly and gradually you start losing yourself. You make yourself so small, the whole relationship is about them and not about two people, not about uh, uh, how both of them, the needs of both the people, both the parties, how together it is a union or companionship, but it becomes just about them and not about yourself. So you lose yourself slowly and quietly in that relationship. You shrink yourself. You don't speak up for your needs. You start pleasing them. You start gifting them things you don't even uh like, believe in, but just to make them happy. All of those things, you shrink yourself and you lose yourself gradually in that relationship. Everything becomes about them for you. And sometimes you overcompensate. You overly explain yourself. I did this, I made this choice because I thought this would be good, and then this would happen. The consequences of this would be this. You start explaining each and every choice, each and every decision that you have taken, or so you start explaining everything. I made this because I felt that, and whatnot. You start trying to control the environment. You'll be worried about uh, maybe, let's say, someone doesn't, the person, the relationship you're thinking about right now, maybe that other person doesn't like a messy place. So even when you're so drained, you try to keep the place clean because you want to control the environment, thinking that uh, I want them come to this place. They should be happy, but you're not thinking about how drained I am. Because if at all they saw a slightest bit of mess, they will get angry, and you cannot handle that anger. And it happens with our moms too, right? Sometimes we're so afraid. Well, as a kid, maybe, like, we try to see the environment. If they're very angry, we'll see what to do, what not to do, and things like that. Well, that is very different. Although all of it is coming from a place of protecting your safety internally. You're so afraid of it. You're coming from place of fears. You're trying to control the environment. You strive for perfection, hoping that it will make you feel enough. This should be perfect. That should be perfect. Uh, they like this, so I'll do that. They like that, so I'll do that. Yeah. You're trying to chase safety through control and not trust. You cannot trust them to know what's the context, and so you trying to control everything. You don't trust yourself that you will be able to handle whatever happens in the moment, so you control the environment. You're trying to chase safety. And sometimes, shrinking and overcompensating happens together. uh, so I'll give you an example. For example, imagine someone deeply afraid that their partner might leave them. Now, this fear turns into overthinking every little thing. This fear turns into uh, fear of abandonment, where like, the person is feeling so unsafe that, oh my God, my partner is going to leave me. Uh, maybe not. Let me try to control this thing. I will become the best version possible. And gradually, they start to control who are they talking to, how they are dressing when they are waking up, and whatnot. And sometimes they're also worried if their partner is cheating on them or not, and all that jealousy creeps in, and they become so controlling about their time, their work, and what all they are doing, keeping track of who are they talking to, all of that. Now, that relationship isn't about love anymore. It becomes about managing the fear of loss, about holding on, about surviving the thought, what if they leave? But the real question is the person ever going to feel safe even if the partner stays? Maybe the partner is not going to leave them. Maybe the partner do not intend to cheat them, do not intend to leave them. And it is just some conspiracy in their head about from all the fears that they're coming from. But it clearly shows that there's no trust, there's no communication. What this person is chasing isn't the partner, it's the feeling of being safe and worthy. They want to live in this cocoon that I have this relationship. It does not matter. Like the having someone having the relationship is so important because not having that will shatter their world, will shatter their safety that they were looking for outside. They don't consider themselves worthy of a quality relationship, of a relationship that actually is about love, is about companionship. And they're so wanting to just, they're coming from this fear of being alone. They're wanting to just, this person to stay because they cannot live with themselves. They're not feeling safe inside. And once the external safety has gone, there's no other option but to look inside. And you're so afraid of doing that. You're so afraid of creating this own safety. You have no clue how to do that because you have always looked at it outside. But actually, it comes from within because the feeling of being safe, it cannot come from someone else. Nobody can take the responsibility of making you feel safe. It has to come from within. Even if someone does take that responsibility, they will never be able to do that for you because it is your duty, it is your responsibility to take care of your inner world. No matter how much deeply you tell someone, how are you feeling, your thoughts, your beliefs, working on that is something only you can do. Only you can create that environment within. Nobody else can meditate for you. Nobody else can uh, just make you feel something. It's your responsibility to heal all of that what is going inside. Right? It has to come from within. Nobody can do that for you. They can be there to support you. They can provide all the support that you need. They can listen to you. They can help you understand something. But that change needs to come from you. Your that decision to work on your mindset, to work on your thoughts, that needs to come from within. To create that trust within yourself, it's your thought, it's your mindset, it's your emotions. Now, the example that I just took about was something big, and it's not that it happens every day. But let's now look at how our lack of confidence shows up in smaller ways into our everyday lives. Okay, so the number one, I think the most important sign that you would notice into such relationships is you say yes to everything your partner says. And maybe it's not even about the partner, it's also about a lot of other relationships. Maybe it is professional, but um, you see this happening that you say yes to everything. You have blurred sense of boundaries. You do not uh, seem to have that understanding of yourself. So, okay, you're saying yes, not because you agree to what they're saying, but because you're scared that your opinion will upset them. You're so scared that if I say this, there might be a conflict, or you have this strong belief that, even if I say anything, my views don't matter, so why say? You just let people come inside that line. Yesterday, probably a couple of days ago, I was working with a client. We were talking about a lot of things, and they mentioned that they had their own way of looking at a situation. And in spite of expressing what they believe in, their partner told them, okay, but you do that, this is, they explained, you do this, this will happen, and etc., etc. And no, even after knowing what their view and their strategy was right, and they strongly believed in that, they said yes to the partner. Okay, if you're saying so, I will do that. And this was one incident. And years later, now they are realizing that this pattern has been existing for almost everything now. This incident that I'm talking about has happened like maybe 10, 12 years back into their life. And when we were having this conversation, they realized this has been going on in everything. And it shows up in so many different ways in the client's life. First, it was about parenting. Then now it has become about uh, what the client wants to do and not want to do. So all of these things, slowly and gradually starts affecting in your lives in very, subtle ways. You would not even realize that this is happening. It becomes so subconsciously, the dynamics become like that until and unless you are really aware of what's going on, you would not realize. And this happens. You lose your voice eventually. You go along with everything until one day you realize you have no say. You're not seen, you're not heard, you're not considered. And all of this accumulates and you feel unloved. But the truth is, you have abandoned your own voice. You have stopped being there for yourself long before your relationship made it evident for you. You let people enter your area. You let them cross those boundaries. You let them tell you what you should be doing, what you should be thinking. That's how it shows up in in everyday small situations. And we feel like, oh, that's not the case, and it's okay. And then one day it all just blows your mind how it has just formed a pattern. You say yes when you want to say no. You go to gatherings you don't enjoy because what's the harm? You skip your gym sessions because it's not that important. Everyone else's needs seem to matter more than your own. Sometimes, let's say in a case, the partner invites you to go out while you are in middle of work. You drop everything, you are thrilled because you tell yourself, oh, this is what love looks like. Wow. Like you're craving for that attention, and then your partner has given you that attention, and then you break the promises you have made to yourself because you think that, oh, you love them, you want to be there for them, and then you just go along. And one day when the roles reverse and you ask and they say they are busy, you suddenly start feeling rejected. You start feeling unimportant. You start feeling unloved. And you start questioning a lot of things. Am I in the wrong place? Do they even care? What you need to notice is that it was your decision. You came from a place of fear and not from a place of love. Because if you would have come from a place of love, you make a decision that either you want to work or you want to take a break, and that is your decision. And when you're coming from a place of love, if you want to work, you would still trust that relationship, that nothing is going to change if you're going to say no to that. But you give in because either you want to avoid conflict, or you're afraid that things will fall apart if you keep saying no to them. This is what happens when you, deriving sense of self from the outside world. You're giving and hoping that it will come back in the same way. But honestly, it doesn't. It doesn't come back in the same way because you are, you know, you're expecting something. People have their different ways of expression, and you're expecting same things to come back. It's only showing that you're not doing things out of love, but rather out of a goal to get it back. Every time it doesn't happen, your self-worth takes a hit. You start wondering, am I enough? Is it me? Is all the problem? Is it about me? Did I not do it? Was I not good enough to them? What more do I need to do? No, that's where most of the people get it wrong. It's not always about doing. It's not always about uh wanting that validation from outside. You feel okay when someone appreciates you. You feel it is going to the confidence is going to come when someone appreciates you, if you're seen, if you're loved by someone else. But that's not about it. It needs to come from within. It's about being loud and not perfect. I mean, not about being loud or perfect, but about listening to yourself. It's not about being liked every time. It's not about being right every time. It's about being there even when no one is clapping, even when the love is not returned like the way you hope, but you stand for what you believe in. Because confidence doesn't come from how others are seeing you, it comes from how you see yourself. Uh, this reminds me of an incident that happened with a client of mine. So this client was telling me that in every situation it somehow happens that you know uh, they have their opinion, and the rest of the people, they form a team. I feel alone, and eventually then I just kind of accept what they are saying, because I feel like maybe all of them are saying maybe that would be right, maybe I am wrong, and they don't trust their view. So what they do is they accept what the other people are telling, or deciding in that particular situation. And while we were talking about it, we realized that eventually, you know, how this is affecting them. Instead of 3:1, it is now becoming 4:1. Their inner self is feeling abandoned. That, yes, all of the three people were on the same side, but what I had to offer was something that was long run, that was better for us in the long run. And eventually they see that. But the inner self, the inner child has felt abandoned. That, why did you leave me? When you're not trusting yourself, this is what happens. You're going to feel sad about it eventually. While we were working on that, they realized that yes, I should have stood up for myself, and it would have been better for all of them and not just one person. It would have been better for all of them. Because your view just doesn't, it's not about being selfish or just doing things for yourself. When you are coming from the right intention, eventually things will fall in place. So the question is, what do I mean to myself? I would really request you guys to take a minute and answer this question for yourself. What do I mean to myself? How do I see myself? How do I treat myself when no one is watching? What place do I hold in my life? Just think about it. How do I value myself? How much do I matter to myself? If I were my own best friend, how would I describe me? Take a minute and reflect on this. Do I treat myself with love, or am I being very harsh with myself when no one is around? How is my inner dialogue look like? What do I mean to myself? When we are talking about these small patterns in everyday life, we're not looking at just one situation. It's not once in a while it happens that someone needs you and you leave your stuff to do that for them, but it is about a pattern that is being formed. It is about promises that you keep to yourself and the promises that you don't. That is going to tell you how much do you mean to yourself, because eventually action, there needs to be action for your inner self to believe that you matter. In the community, I had asked you all to reflect around, I just shared a poll, I think last week, around which of the fears are coming in the way of your relationships, and a lot of you answered. Some did reflect but did not choose. Well, the idea was to bring your attention that these fears exist, and when you operate from a place of fear, you're basically not trusting your relationship. You're not trusting that what you actually desire is valid. You're not trusting your partner that they are capable of understanding you. You're not trusting them to hear you, to comfort you. And without that trust, what does that relationship even mean? Is there enough space in the relationship? Is there enough freedom in the relationship to be yourself? Do you make that space for yourself? But after understanding a lot of these concepts, we have now established that yes, there is a lot of room for improving the quality of our relationships, right? With ourselves and with the relationships that exists. Let us see how. The first step is knowing yourself. This might sound simple. This might sound that, knowing yourself, it's just comes in everything. It is the foundation of everything. It's the first step towards most of your problems. I think almost every of your problem, knowing yourself, what do you want? Because if you don't know who you are, how can you know what you want? If you don't know what you want, how are you going to express it to anyone, or even to how are you going to decide what do you want to do about it? Not any situation. Knowing yourself is the first step. I was working with a person. They actually so uh, this is the case study I want to share about knowing what you want and not. So this person, the client I was working with, they entered into a relationship with someone. They know that both of them knew that there is no future in this relationship because of different career priorities and the distance and everything. And yet they entered into the relationship and everything was going well because this larger question, where is it going, was buried very far away in their lives. They did not at all think about it. They just entered into the relationship. Everything was going well. Uh, they they had good companionship and a lot of stuff. So one fine day, this couple goes out with different friends, and a friend casually asked, like, "What's the next step? Where is it going?" or something like that, and the problem started happening after that. They were finally able to look at this question that they were ignoring for so long, and that really devastated my client. The relationship ended, of course, because it did not uh, it wasn't supposed to be working, but it affected them to that extent that they were so hurt within themselves because of the pain of abandonment and a lot of hurt they were feeling, that they were ready to uh, change their career decisions. They all their life they knew this is what they had to do, but since they could not create that safety, since they cannot could not live with themselves, they were ready to make that decision. Fortunately, we had our sessions, and they realized that this decision is coming from pain, is coming from fears, and eventually they did not make the decision. But the point here was is that if they had worked upon, um, knowing themselves, knowing what they want out of this relationship, they would have stopped where things started getting intense for them. If they loved themselves enough, they would have known that this is going to be very messy. So let's give a pause it here. Knowing what do you want out of this relationship is really important. And this is a very small incident, probably happens in a lot of people's life, where when they are really not aware what's going on and everything. But if you really don't work on yourself, if you really don't know who you are, what do you need, that pain, that emptiness within you is always going to stay, no matter how many no matter even the most uh, perfect partner comes for you. This client of mine, they worked on themselves. They understood, okay, what exactly it is that they want out of a relationship, who they are, and it took them couple of years actually to get out of this. And after those years, finally they have been now getting like getting back on their feet in this zone. So if you really know yourself, you would not put yourself through so much of pain. Being clear about what you want and expressing it is really important. So this is the first step. And how do you do that? You ask yourself a couple of questions very honestly. So here are those couple of questions. What do I want from this relationship? Not what looks good on paper, not what others expect. What do I actually desire from this connection? What does a fulfilling relationship look like and feel like to me? what is my if ideal score for this relationship? So if I were to score, not aiming for a perfect 10 on 10, but a number that feels good and real to me. In various different relationships in our life, we need to see how much of that relationship matters to me. So if I had to score this relationship, and not a perfect 10 on 10, but what number feels good and real to me? This is the understanding about my expectations from the relationship. The next part is understanding what I deeply value in people, what I deeply value in connections. When do I feel most seen? When do I feel most valued or heard? What kind of conversations I like? What kind of behaviors shut me down? We also need to be aware of our triggers. What kind of behaviors I just cannot take it, it shuts me down. We need to really know the inner world better. What are my strengths in relationships? Am I a good listener? Am I a patient? Am I curious? Am I warm? Or like my behavior, my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are my triggers? What are my struggles? Do I avoid conflict? Do I expect others to read my mind? There's so many people. I mean, I've seen these kind of people. They're like, you should have known that. Even if I did not say so, what don't you know? Well, how am I supposed to know? What do you want in this particular situation? People need to learn to express themselves, right? So, do I expect these kind of things? So, what are my weaknesses? What are my emotional triggers? What are my fears? Uh, do I fear rejection? Do I fear abandonment? Do I really think, am I good enough or not? Where are all those fears coming from? If I feel unseen or unheard, how do I respond? I really need you to reflect on these questions in your when you're just by yourself. Maybe look at this recording and really reflect on yourself. And once you know that what is my value system, what principles do I live by, all of these answers you have, you would know what are you bringing to the table. What kind of partner, friend, colleague, whatever relationship it is, what kind of person do I want to be in that? You know what you're bringing to the table, you know what you want out of this relationship. That's the first step. You need to know it. Because once you truly begin to know yourself, you will start showing up as yourself. Up until now, you're just being driven by your current beliefs, your patterns. But now you're starting to look inside. Now you're starting to understand yourself. And then you're once you know who you are, then only you're going to show up as yourself. And that brings us to the second step. Be that authentic person, no matter what. Yes, this is what exactly will build real and lasting confidence. This is it doesn't depend on who likes you or agrees with you. And yes, it will be scary at first, but being yourself will is the only way to live freely, to live confidently in a relationship. And it is a journey, it is a process. You need to take these steps. You need to understand yourself and you need to be who you are. I'd like to share, like, if you're really if it feels like scary, I'd like to I would like you to think of it like this. Imagine you are in a conversation with someone about God. Okay. You believe in God, but the other person doesn't. Okay. You might try to have this conversation for 5 to 10 minutes to explain your side. Why do you believe? What all things have happened in your life that you believe in this and etc. etc. But after a point, you stop convincing, right? You would say, That's okay. I respect that you don't believe, but I do, and that's my truth, right? You're not gonna have hours and hours and days of discussion with this person. Just quietly accept, okay, you believe in that, and I don't believe in that, and I respect it, whatever your viewpoint is. Because this conversation about God, we all understand that everybody has their own different views and belief systems around it, and you don't want to hurt someone on their beliefs. Okay, so it's it's the same clarity you need to bring to your personal journey, to your healing, your boundaries, your dreams. Can we agree to disagree and still move forward with self trust? Can we agree to disagree and still trust that, you know, the relationship has enough freedom and enough space that we'll still be together in this? Do I consider myself deserving enough to start working on myself just simply because I want to? Or do I need someone else to say, yes, you are allowed or you are not allowed? You know, you have been gifted with this incredible mind, the power to think, the power to reason, to reflect. When are you going to use it for yourself? Let me share a little secret with you. People who truly love you will never make your growth a burden. They will always support you in your growth. And those who don't, they're never going to understand you. So, where's the dilemma? Begin your journey, know yourself, be yourself, and build the kind of confidence that no one can take away. That was all that I had to offer today. And we are open for any questions. If you guys have any questions, you can let me know. Uh, if later on also any questions come to you, you can always DM me. To all the people who are watching it as recording, you can mention your questions in the comments, or you can also DM me your questions, and I'll be happy to help. Do we have any questions for today? Okay. If not, then I will see you all in the next session. And if at all, even after this call, any question comes up, please DM me. Thank you. Have a nice evening.